So, today we're going to be talking about binary thinking or like dual consciousness or the laws of polarity. Hey, you guys, it's the Real Diamond King, and today on Frequency Conversations, we are going to be talking about binary thinking, polarity consciousness, or dual consciousness, as some might say. It's been something that I have been researching and thinking about a lot lately. I guess because I've been really focused on wanting or desiring for the world to truly love itself. I know that sounds like cheesy and corny, but understanding that when it comes to bringing, or when it comes to heaven being here on earth, or us bringing heaven here on earth, that first has to start with us. So, yeah, it's been really interesting. So to see where there is a scientific explanation for why we split everything into twos in the third dimension, why everything has to be good or bad, or us against them, black or white, north, the south, hot or cold, night and day, dark and light. But understanding that this perspective, or this cognitive framework, is something that is necessary when we first start out as babies and toddlers and children. It keeps us safe. It teaches us how to be cautious and what to do and what not to do, in order to survive, in order to, still be here. It is the mechanics of the third dimension, right? It literally holds everything together, holds the grid together, holds the matrix together. And it's beautiful, it's great. But understanding that as we get older and as the critical brain, the critical thinking starts to happen, and again, necessary, but then something happens. Binary thinking ultimately is what leads to stress and fear and societal conditioning. We end up polarizing everything in our world. Because we end up polarizing everything in our world, it always is a battle. There's always a war going on. Not just outside, but within ourselves. And I do think it is, or it can be, a result of binary thinking, dual consciousness, or the laws of polarity, where there's always, something opposing something to keep something in balance. And I invite the conversation of, why does it have to be opposing? Like, why can't it can't be like a coexist? Why can't I speak? Like, why can't it just coexist? I think about the masculine and the feminine, and I'm going to do another frequency conversation on that specifically. When I think about the masculine and the feminine, it's like, right now it feels like the masculine and feminine are against each other, or like there's an agenda being pushed for there to be some type of hate or animosity. But the truth is one needs the other. They both need each other, and they both create this amazingness. So again, that's going to be on a different, that's going to be a different conversation. But I'm like, okay, you know, understanding, having the awareness of polarity or the dualism, having that understanding, and it can be your base. But I think as we evolve it, as we start to evolve as humans, it doesn't have to stay our base. You know, it doesn't have to stay our base. And that's what I want to encourage people to start talking about. Like, what if we started looking at things from a universal viewpoint, as if you were not taking sides and watching a movie? And I say that because nowadays, and I had a conversation with a friend about this, is nowadays when you watch a movie, you understand the side of the hero, but then you see the journey of the villain and you understand how the villain got there. Right? Now, back in the day, when you watch a movie and it was a hero and a the villain be wilding, doing crazy savage stuff, and you're like, what are you doing? Why did you do that? Like, you're so mad. Like, you're crazy. Like, why are you blowing up stuff? And anyway, I digress. What I'm saying is like, it was hard to side with the villain back in the day. But now, when you watch cinema and shows, it's like, I be understanding how the villain became the villain. I'm like, y'all been messing with him the whole time. Y'all been ignoring him the whole time. And now you want to act a certain type of way when he blow up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you get it. And so I feel like the fact that that's showing up in our art is, it does feel like, as far as consciousness is concerned, that we are ready, that our consciousness has elevated to a certain degree where we are able to understand, or there's able to be middle grounds when it comes to seeing things from a different point of view. So yeah. So I was first introduced to the law of polarity or dual consciousness back in 2012. I read this book series. It's called The Law of One, and it's channeled messages. And basically, in this book, it talks about how humanity operates from the law of polarity or dual consciousness, where we see everything as, you know, good or evil, up or down, right or wrong, left or right, hot or cold. And basically, reading this series changed my perspective. I was able to see where that was how we were living as a human race. Within this book, it touched on, you know, either people are service to themselves or service to others. But even though that still feels like polarity, right? It still feels like dual, or fosters dualism, that the ultimate goal was to realize that both were the same, and that that consciousness is one entity experiencing itself in different ways, different expressions, in different places, from different points of views, all these different things. It was complex, but then it was so simple at the same time. And I started to challenge myself to be able to see through the eyes of others, to understand from the perspective of others. And when I say the perspective of others, I mean, you know, someone that's a different age than me, you know, from the perspective of, oh, if I was that tree, how would I feel if I was being kicked by somebody, you know, from a different race, from a different gender. Like, always expanding how I perceived other people and their experiences as they were being reflected back at me. And this happened after I read this book series. And then I started, playing around with the different masculine and feminine dynamics and all of that kind of stuff. But all in all, that book series was what encouraged me to look into the concept of seeing things in these extreme ways, right? And so now, where we're at now, because there's a lot happening in the world, and it starts to feel really extreme, really rigid. That's how, and when I say that, not in my personal life. In my personal life, there's so much love, there's so much diversity, there's so much expression of God in all things, and expression of the Most High in all things. So it's like, but if I turn on the TV, if I turn on the Black Mirror, that is when I start to feel that dualism. I start to feel the dualism so strongly. It's like, oh my God. I start to feel a dualism. And it's not like scary or anything like that, because again, I have the awareness. I know what's happening. It's just us, right? It's just us. And that reminds me, I could tell y'all this story. Hold on, let me stop it and then start it back again, because I'm recording this on my phone instead of my camera. So, you know how you record long and it takes longer for you to upload it? I'm not trying to do all that. So, this was years ago. I did this medicine journey, and on the medicine journey, I literally got snatched out the matrix, like full on snatched out. Like I could remember the inception of creation. I know what that sounds like. It sounds crazy, but it is what it is. Y'all can think what y'all want to think. Anyway, within this experience, I could see where everything that we're doing is to validate our existence and to validate that we individually exist, which, we're here, right? But on a very molecular level, it's all the same. And so I could see during this journey where things that perpetuate division or that perpetuate separateness was false. It's just false. In order for us to evolve, we're gonna have to grow the fuck up. I'm sorry, y'all. What are we doing? That's what was shown to me. It's like, what are you doing? You're focused on, this person is doing this and they're saying that, and it's just like, it's all you. It's all you. It's all you. Girl, it's all you. That's what was like. It's like, what are you trying to go up against? Who are you trying to fight? And why? Because it's even when it came to with me being a facilitator, me being a healer and all this kind of stuff, I could see where it was just like, who are you trying to heal? Why? It was like, why? Why are you? It's you. You're trying to heal yourself? Is that what you're trying to do? Because that's what you're doing. There's no one to save. There's no imperfection. There's no perfection. This is all a way to experience existence. Nothing is happening on accident. Everything is by design. And for you to think that consciousness, that infinite intelligence is not curating and planning this whole thing that you gotta jump in and individually do something in your separateness. Girl, like what? And that was my experience where I was like, oh my God. Like, I'm in this incarnation stressing myself out for what? I was supposed to be living an expressive, abundant, expansive life. And here I am. We gotta, pop, boom. Sit down. Sit down. And when I say that, I was talking to myself. Because it's like, we could have heaven here on earth, but yet we always looking for something to fight. We're always harming each other. We're always got to go toe to toe with something. And it's like, even within the paradigm of going toe to toe to something, with something, can talk. It's like, it's still a part of the experience. It's still part of the story. It's still a part of, it's going to sound cheesy. It's still a part of God's plan. It's still a part of God's plan. It's still a part of God's plan. Like, it's like, once there's that acceptance, y'all, there's so much peace in your heart when there's not a battle going on in your mind. And so I really wanted to do an episode on binary thinking, because what I love about the concept is explaining the cognitive framework, the scientific framework, where it's not just about, oh, dual consciousness, Like, it's a real fucking thing. Like, we gotta, I feel like once we understand our minds and we look back at ourselves and we're able to quiet our minds, and obviously, you know, there's so many topics, because we can talk about heart coherence and all that kind of stuff. But what I'm saying is, like, ultimately, you guys, like, binary thinking works in the beginning stages of our lives, and then it's meant for us to evolve past binary thinking to a unified perspective or universal consciousness. It's just like, you start off crawling and then you start walking. It's like that. Why are we still? Anyway. So, yeah. I think I covered the gist of it. I'm not going to ramble on. I try to keep these videos like 15, 20 minutes, which sometimes still be long. Okay, you guys. Well, I am the Real Diamond King. Thank you for joining me. Okay, you guys. Well, I'm the Real Diamond King. Thank you for joining me on Frequency Conversations. Again, you can follow me here at The Real Diamond King and Vibes. I'm on Instagram and YouTube, The Real Diamond King. And you also can book me. I do virtual sessions, and I am a meditation coach, a sound therapist, and a frequency facilitator. That is my specialty. I help people shift their frequencies with using the mind, the breath, movement, and sound. Anyway, I'll catch y'all later. Peace.